But how do we specifically love them? First of all, time and availability. We need to put aside things in order to spend time with our children. I know that now when my children come home from being away working, from living away because of schools or whatever, that they're older, when they come home and say, hey mom, let's do something together, I drop what I'm doing, because when I take my children out to breakfast, when I make time for them, it almost gives me that right from them to speak into their lives. When my children became teenagers, I realized that instead of always having them in the gang of the whole family, maybe they needed time to talk to me alone. So I would take each of my teenagers out by themselves once a week. I would take the boys for breakfast. One of them preferred a macho breakfast, you know, that hash browns and eggs and bacon and all the fat that I never let them eat when they were younger. But I was reaching their heart with what they enjoyed. The other one said, no, I just want bagels and low-fat cream cheese because I'm on a muscle building routine. And so whatever each of the children want, I would go with them. I would ride in the car, listen to their music, because I wanted to build the kind of friendship, a healthy adult friendship, but a friendship nonetheless with my children on the basis of what they would enjoy, so that they would want to listen to me. So we have to make time. We have to be available. We have to reach them on their terms. I remember one time when my little boy, Nathan, who's always been my extrovert, he said he was kind of starting to misbehave and had a time of acting up. And I said, Nathan, I said, honey, what's going on in your life? And he said, well, when you spend time with me, it makes me want to obey you. And when you don't spend time with me, I will do whatever I need to do to get your attention. And so one night, after he'd said this to me, I thought, he is right. We've been busy, we've been moving, we had all these things going on. So I said, well, tonight will be your night. He said, no, it won't. You'll have a phone call, you'll let the kids interrupt you. I said, no, I promise, honey. So I took him back in my bedroom, closed the door, and 3 times the kids knocked and said, hey, Mom. I said, no, I have an important appointment. You'll have to wait. I can't talk to you right now. Mom, it's just Nathan. Yes, but Nathan is important. So as I started talking with him, the phone rang. Mommy, somebody wants you on the phone. It's really important. I said, no, I'm in an important appointment. And so 4 times I said, no, this is my time with Nathan. And I said, hey, Nate, what do you want? You want a back scratch? You want to read a book together? You want to talk? You want to play a game? So he said, I want a back scratch. And as I started scratching his back, he said, you know, Mommy, thank you for saying no to everybody else. I really thought you were going to be too busy. And as I kept scratching his back, he just started opening up to me. Mom, there's been this little boy down the neighborhood, and he's been making fun of me. He started telling me about all these little issues that were on his heart. And I learned that what he said was true. If you don't spend time with me, and then you fill in the blank, some of your children will find time with someone else, they will do something else besides you, or they will misbehave until they get your attention. But it requires that we give time, that we are available during the times that they feel they need to talk with us. Another principle I learned is that you need to redeem the time today. I was speaking in Ohio once, and this woman came and heard me speak about the importance of relationship and making time. And she had this very large family. I can't remember if it was 8 or 9 children, but her 15-year-old was becoming rebellious, and he was having all sorts of problems. And so she took him out of school. And she said, I have no clue. I've never homeschooled in my life. And so as she started reading the Word, she thought, you know what? It doesn't matter what I do this year. If I lose his heart, I will never have him again. So instead of really focusing on all the pressures and all the advice that everybody gave to her, she said, what would you like to do this year? And he said, Mom, will you go fishing with me? She said, I'd never fished before, but in between times in my schedule, I would write down times and I would say, this is the week I'm going to go fishing with you, or this is the day I'm going to go fishing with you. She said, he asked me to go to movies. I would make time to go to a movie with him. And she said, over the year, as I began making special focused time for my son, he started opening up. At the end of the year, he committed his life to Christ. 2 weeks later, when we went to awaken him because he wasn't awake yet, he was dead. And what we found out is that he had a heart problem that he'd had since he was a little baby, but we had never detected it. And she said, one thing I can tell you that went through my mind was, thank you, God, that I took the time to spend with my child while he was available. And I've never forgotten that story. I look at my children. I know that there's only a limited time, an open window, until they're going to grow up and move on. And the story that she told me had a real impact. Another principle of becoming our children's friend is we need to accept them with unconditional love. Children who go through hormones can be really unpredictable. I remember one time one of my children woke up in the morning and were in a bad, grumpy mood, and they were slamming around. They had this terrible attitude, and so I just decided to do something different. I decided to surprise them, and so I got some cookie dough out of the freezer. I made 2 or 3 quick cookies, and I went to my bedroom, and I lit a candle, and I put on some music, and I thought, I'll have a one-child tea time. And so I said, I want you to come back and talk to me. And so it happened 2 different times, one with a boy and one with my daughter. And so I brought my daughter back, and I said, do you know, I'm so appreciative that you are this way, you're gentle, you are loving, you're creative. And I said, I just wanted to have a minute today to tell you how much I appreciate you. And she said, oh, I'm so relieved. I thought you were going to give me a lecture. I know I have been really grumpy. But you know what, Mom? I just have these attitudes that come over me, these hormones or something just make me crazy. Thank you for giving me grace. Our children are going to fail. What did Jesus do? When he was talking to Peter before he died on the cross, he didn't say, Peter, don't you dare listen to a rooster. Run when you hear a rooster. Don't deny me, Peter. You're going to disappoint me. The whole kingdom will be destroyed if you fail. No, he said, Peter, you're going to be sifted like wheat, and you're going to fail me. But I've prayed for you, Peter, that after you return, you'll strengthen the brethren. He gave Peter unconditional love even before he failed. Our children, if they are going to trust us, they need to know that we can love them no matter what. Finally, we need to give them affirmation and encouragement, words of life. We need to say, I believe in your dreams. I believe in who you are. My son Nathan said, I want to grow up to be Superman. Since then, when he says, Mom, I have this conference I'm going to go to. Do you want to go with me? It's a competition. I say, I want to be the person to go. I will be your cheerleader because I believe in your dreams. When my child needs somebody to cheer them on at a play or at a sports situation or whatever it is, I'm the one that's there. I will email them. I say, I love you. I believe in you. You're my hero. God has a plan for your life. It's words of encouragement. It's time. It's affirmation. And finally, it's the grace of maturing together. What I've realized over the years is, though all of us can mature, we're never going to greatly change. My husband will always be a better organizer than me, but I've been able to grow in my ability to organize. I will always be better at relationships than him, but he's been able to mature over the years. Same with our children. We need a grace that understands our limitations and still says, you're still my favorite person because you are my cherished family member. I love you. And when we understand that the foundation for us reaching the hearts of our children is love, we will find out that in the end, we have made our own best friends. There's no one who loves me more, who encourages me more than those precious children who now are my adult best friends. May God give you grace to love your children as they are